I'm Joe Duffy, CEO of OffshoreInsiders.com. We're going to take a look at the 2011 playoffs, the Divisional playoff round, which is, of course, the second round. We're going to take a look at it from a standpoint of the numbers that sports bettors use to handicap games. Let's get straight to those Saturday games. We will start out with Baltimore and Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is a 3.5-point favorite with a total of 37 points. Now, the better team as far as running the ball is Pittsburgh by a 0.4 yards per carry margin. As far as yards per pass catch, that also goes to the Steelers by 1.4. Yards per point is probably one of the more overlooked statistics, and it's used a lot by Sharpies, very rarely by squares. Again, pretty self-explanatory. What yards per point is, you take the total number of points, you divide it by the number of yards that you have. The lower number is better on offense. It means you're much more efficient. The higher number on defense, it means your defense is forcing other teams to waste points, a so-called bend but don't break defense. Now, on the offensive side of the ball, numbers a little bit better for Baltimore, but by just 0.4. Now, on the defensive side of the ball, Steelers are holding teams to a full yard per carry less than the Ravens are. Likewise, with the passing yards per catch, that goes to the Steelmen by 0.7. And the turnover ratio, Pittsburgh has that as well by 5. Now, what we do is we take each team's turnover ratio and compare it. For example, if one team is +3, they have 3 more turnovers. They've recovered 3 more turnovers than they've committed. That would be +3. Well, we compare it. For example, here, Baltimore is +11, but Pittsburgh is +16. Both very good, which you would expect this deep into the playoffs, but the Steelers are better by 5. Now, the nightcap will be played a few miles from the Offshore Insiders International headquarters. Green Bay and Atlanta. Atlanta is a 2.5-point favorite with a total of 44. Green Bay is the better team, passing yards per catch by 1.7, but the much more efficient team with the ball would be the Atlanta Falcons by 1.6. Now, the yards per point on the defensive side of the ball, and the statistic we just gave was yards per points on offense. It's actually Green Bay that is forcing 2.2 more yards per point on the defensive side of the ball. Falcons the better team in turnover ratio by 5. We'll get to the Sunday games in a moment, but you want the top sports picks for the wild card. Well, you got the wild card, but for this, the second round, as well as the conference championships and throughout basketball season, 362 days a year. We take off during the baseball all-star break. Other 362 days a year, the best place to get those picks, OffshoreInsiders.com. Now let's look at the Sunday game. Chicago hosting Seattle. Chicago is laying 10 with a total of 41. Yards per point, Chicago is the better team by 0.9. They're also better at stopping the run by 0.5 yards per rush. Passing yards per catch, that goes to the Bears by 1.7. That is on the defensive side of the ball. We're over on the defensive side of the ball. Yards per point, also Chicago the better team defensively by 3.4. Turnover ratio, the Bears with a pretty significant advantage there by 13. The last game of this round is the Jets and New England. The Jets, New England is a 9.5-point favorite with a total of 45. Yards per point on offense, New England and Tom Brady, 4.2 yards per point better. Rushing yards per attempt on the defensive side of the ball. We're on the defensive side of the ball now. The better team is actually maybe a surprise to some, probably not the Jets. 0.6 yards per carry better. Yards per point on the defensive side of the ball, it's actually the Patriots are forcing 3.3 more yards per point. Turnover ratio, Patriots are fantastic. Although the Jets are actually in the positive category in turnover ratio, New England has an advantage of 20. Again, all the top sports service plays in the industry, whether it's for me, Joe Duffy, Grandmaster Handicapper of God's Tips, and of course you remember me from my Score Phone days, JD of the ACC, we got the winningest handicapper in the history of a large syndicate of websites, Matt Rivers. He's now exclusively on OffshoreInsiders.com. Stevie Vincent, the founder of Forensic Handicapping. The Canadian crew, they were renamed. Same winning selections you got at Scores, Odds, Picks. We explain at OffshoreInsiders.com why we changed the brands for business reasons, also a little bit more accurately to describe what they are. And then, you want the power of 620 sports services behind every single selection? It's the Master Lock line. All that and more at offshoreinsiders.com.